Hi everyone, and welcome to day 12 of the Get Moving, Get Rewarded challenge. Today's workout is going to be focused on balancing out our hips and glute muscles. So every movement we do is going to be done on one side and then repeated on the other. I have a member who has a running injury, so I told her I would dedicate a day to helping out with that type of injury. These exercises do help anybody though. There isn't a giveaway today, but still follow along for today's workout. We do have a lot of big giveaways coming up this week. The biggest one yet probably tomorrow, and then Wednesday and Friday for sure, and maybe Thursday, maybe Saturday, who knows. So I hope you enjoyed today's workout, and make sure to check in 1, 2, or 3 below.
This first exercise is called fire hydrants. So you want to make sure your stomach's pulled in and that you're lifting with that bum muscle. So try to keep your hips level. Don't have the lifting leg come way up, or you'll be lifting with your lower back rather than with your glute muscles. And you can see I'm only lifting a few inches because that's where I feel the most isolation. So don't go by what the exercise looks like, go by what it feels like. So after you do 10 regular fire hydrants, now we're extending. This is a much more difficult movement and you'll feel the burning a lot stronger. And again, it's not about what it looks like, it's about feeling that muscle and what activates that muscle the most. After the first 20, we're going right back into the next set, into the regular fire hydrants. You're not letting that left knee drop down. We're doing the full 3 sets, keeping that knee up. And again, just reminding you to make sure you're pulling your core in and really lifting just with that glute muscle. So really thinking about that muscle to make sure it's activated. All right, and now we are repeating on the other side. You want to make sure what you do on one side you're doing on the other. Most people will have one side become a lot easier or be a lot easier, just meaning that you have an imbalance. So if you have one side that is a lot more difficult, you may want to do a few more repetitions on that side to try to level out your glute muscles. These first fire hydrants, they're a really good exercise to use resistance bands if you want to increase the difficulty. You would just wrap a band around just above your knees. It's just going to make lifting that right leg a lot more challenging. This next exercise is called Clamshells. Again, really be thinking about how your leg is coming up. So you don't want to be lifting with your quad or your lower back. You really want to be thinking about that bum muscle and really lifting with that bum muscle. And again, this would be a great workout to use a resistance band. So you would have the resistance band wrapped around your knees or just above your knees. It's just going to make moving your legs apart that much more difficult. Another way to increase the difficulty of this is to not let your top knee drop down. So you can see my top knee doesn't come all the way down to touching, because once they touch, then that muscle is going to get quite a bit of rest. So I'm just keeping it hovering so that resistance and tension is on that top leg the whole time. And I'm also putting my hand on my bum muscle, and that just helps make a connection so that you can really tell that muscle to be working. So it's really helpful for a lot of people to just make that physical connection with your hand, and it helps to engage that glute muscle. And for this exercise, we're doing 20 on each side, then 15 on each side, and then 10 on each side. This last movement is pulsing kickbacks and then right into the pulsing abductor lunges. So that's when you're putting you can see right now I'm putting my right hand on my right knee and I'm pressing to the left with my hand. And then that makes so that when I'm pulsing, I really, really feel that in my glute rather than in my quad. And again, when you're kicking back, just think about the angle that feels the best for that glute muscle. Don't worry too much about what it looks like. And remember to keep your core pulled in. That's going to help isolate your glutes. And also to make sure your hips stay level so that you're not engaging your lower back. These are some really good stretches for helping engage your glutes, get rid of quad dominance, and to stretch out your hips and IT bands. So this first one's called a pigeon, and it's just going to be working that right IT band and now left IT band. So you can hold there. I'm not holding for very long. You can hold for much longer, somewhere up to even 2 to 3 minutes per side is great. You're really going to do some deep stretching with that amount of time. Anything about 20 to 30 seconds isn't going to do as much. And this one you can see I really popped my left hip out before I dropped down. And that's just another way of stretching out that IT band. And you'll see again, so my left crosses over my right, and it's my right that's popping out to the side before I lean over. So this isn't a hamstring stretch, it's an IT band stretch, which is down the side of your quad. And then last is a quad stretch. So I'm trying to keep my feet straight back as possible. You don't have to grab your hands like I am now, but you're wanting to keep your knees going straight back, not out to the side, so that it's really stretching your hip flexors.